I have a lot of young moms that listen and watch, and I've heard from a lot of them, especially ones that are working and had to go back to work when their kids were young. So like dropping that 3-month-old, 2-month-old off and feeling like, what's wrong with me? And them pulling over, bawling their eyes out and like, I don't want to do this. And I remember like, it gets easier. Just push through it, push. And then later on suffering from postpartum and all these other things, right? Because it's like, no, this is what I have to do. This is what I've chose to do. I chose to get my education. I want to work. I want to do this, but why? Because it feels like your heart's being ripped out as you leave this baby behind. What would you say to these young women?
Well, I mean, I think that it's incredibly hard for a reason. And part of it is that, science is actually even revealing that a lot of it isn't even just psychological. It's actually biological. We're just ordered to take care of those children. So that's why it feels so intense and arduous. I would say, pay attention to that. Like, there's a reason you feel that way. And obviously not everybody can give up their job, but I think that theirs can be a striving and an effort to try and change our situations as such that we can take care of those children, because we know, especially those first 3 years are so critical for the child development and whatnot. So anyway, I simultaneously both completely sympathize, but also feel like,
don't shove it down. Listen to it.
Exactly. Pay attention to it.
Pay attention.
It's there for a reason.
Yeah, I think you're right on there. And unfortunately, in North America, we don't allow for this. At least,
I think that's right.
I had my first 2 in Ireland, and I was working. I mean, I was doing youth ministry, so like I worked with my kids, so they came with me to everything I went to. But I think it was 9 months maternity leave.
Wow.
And then like there was midwives that would come to my house to check on me, and like it just back then, abortion was still illegal in Ireland, and I think there was something to that because the midwives, like my prenatal care. Like, it wasn't doctor-led, it was midwife-led. But I feel like they had so many other things for me. So, like, I would have a sinus infection, and they give me lavender oil, eucalyptus, and tea tree, and told me to put it in boiling water, put a towel over my head, breathe it in. Like, in the hospital, women brought me cabbage leaves, Like, there was just all these other things. They're like, oh, what if you try this? Or castor oil. Like, they
knew what to do because they had all this, like, built-in memory from the way in which women have dealt with this stuff all these centuries. That's really beautiful and really interesting, because I think we have made it so clinical. I know my mom, she used to tell me about how the nurses would come in and rub her feet, and I was like, are you kidding? Like, seriously? Like, wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, there's some people you wouldn't want touching your feet, but at the same time, just that kind of care for women, and that everything has become so sterilized because we've made our fertility such an optional thing instead of actually caring for it in the ordered way. And again, I think that's why we feel so much. Feels like there's isolation on like every level.